we'll utilize that. Ravi, can we go to the next slide?
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Ravi here. I just need to add a disclaimer here. All our views are in the presentation our own, not representing our company or whoever the entity we're associated with. And all the examples that we are using here are some products we are using, but we are not recommending any of the products. It's only my view. Our views are examples we are taking. It is required for us from our organization point of view to have the disclaimer. Hope you understand. Okay, I'm going to the next one, Harshit.
Thanks, Ravi. I believe everyone can hear us, correct? Okay, so in our agenda, what we are trying to achieve is first two slides is introduction, myself and Ravi. Then we are doing the objectives, what we are trying to achieve from our small pilot, this one which we performed. What was our approach? What is the main approach we take it during this pilot? After that, Ravi will going to present the demo, and then we will have a Q&A session. The session is only for 30 minutes, so we restricted our content basically for the 30 minutes only. We will take all the questions at the end of the session. So till that, bear with us. Thanks a lot. Ravi, can we go to the introduction? Okay, myself is Harshad. I actually currently I'm a IT manager and architect in the region, in Asia Pacific region, working for Johnson & Johnson. My history is I joined IT industry in 2006. I was software engineer that time, and moved to till this level while I was there a BigNet consultant and the technology lead. Education, I completed the Master of Computer Application, and currently I'm pursuing the Master of Technology in Digital Leadership program. It's a 2 years MTech program from National University of Singapore. My total experience is 14 years of experience in web applications and mobile applications development. Skill sets it's like in Drupal, React, Node.js, Hybris, Sitecore, AWS, and during my MTech right now, I'm exploring design thinking, agile practicing, all those new cool stuff. I belongs to Singapore. It's a small island, but it's a wonderful island. So, Ravi, over to you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Harshad. Hi all, my name is Ravi. I'm working for Johnson & IT lead. My role is a lead software engineer. I'm responsible for the solution architecture and software engineering in the region, EMEA region, Europe, Middle East, and Asia Pacific. I mainly work with the consumer sector of J&J for the consumer brands. We have various brands, and we have a website for each brand. And we go into the details what we do with those websites and how we build it. I'm located in Belgium, and I mentioned I was joined J&J in last year, but before that I worked with Capgemini for 13 years as Drupal consultant, and before that I was in India and working as a software engineer. And when coming to my skill sets, I have a experience with Drupal 6, 7, and also now transitioning to 9. I have also experience with Node.js, ReactJS, and Gatsby, the new solution architecture and DSM, design system manager. And I'll explain what we do with the DSM in our demo today. And I have a total 16 years of experience. From education, I completed my master's, Master of Computer Applications. Okay, that is my quick intro. I'm moving on to the next slide. Okay, that's to you.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Ravi. Thanks. So yeah, so this is what the case study we performed in Johnson and Johnson, basically for all our group of companies. Johnson and Johnson is divided into three major portion. It's consumer, pharmaceutical, and medical. So these are the web applications which mainly focused for these case studies. Whatever case study, what the idea was, the everyone wanted to move away from the monolithic applications or monolithic architecture. So the basic idea when it comes back in 2019, so the idea was everyone is looking forward for the API first approach because uh, uh, not just for web applications, and we wanted to connect with all the other digital channels as well. So when this case study has been performed, that time the API first approach was the main target we wanted to achieve. Content as a service, because most of the content is a shareable content in across multiple channels. So that is what we wanted to achieve it as well. UI reusable component, because most of our digital assets or web applications or mobile applications is across the region, is same across the region or across the globe, and content is changeable. We have almost like more than 800 plus websites right now. We wanted to leverage a platform build efforts. So, for example, if we build the platform, that will help us to build a small websites on top of that, not the individual project approach. Uh, and the main challenge for us is the current portfolio is in Drupal 7, which is a monolithic Drupal 7 applications, and that we have to migrate to Drupal 8 or Drupal 9, whatever the new things is there. So, so idea is we wanted to make sure there is a zero change management for the business, because if we wanted to migrate like this bulk of applications into a new platform or a architecture, then we wanted to avoid a zero change management to a business, because for business there is no functionality is going to change, only the this is a technical migrations was there. In overall this case study, what we identified that security improvement, performance improvement, and total cost of ownership and speed of market is always a continuous improvement. This is not going to stop if we build a platform. So this was the idea, a main high level, the objective or a vision when we wanted to build this platform for the web applications. Um, on top of this, this is like a pillar for us. This is a core pillar for us, and main focus or main idea is not just for web applications, but for other digital channels also. How we can how we can easily leverage our content through the API first approach and using the UI reusable components. Can we go to the next slide? This is the main slide where I wanted to derive our approach, and then we wanted to see we will demonstrate our approach in the demo subsequently. So this is our current state, or this is what we have right now. We internally we call it as a canvas, as a platform. Canvas is nothing but the Drupal 7 websites or architectural profile is there. And on top of that, since it's a monolithic framework, on top of that, we have our all giant or the web applications is built on top of that. For every region, there are more than 100 plus websites is there right now in the Canvas platform. And it is serving the content. Can you click one more time? Yeah, so right now this platform is serving the content to multiple digital channels, not just just desktop applications only. It's a responsive web design, so that's why it is serving the content to all other applications. Going next. So what idea was when we wanted to build this new architecture, it should be there will be a content delivery module we wanted to build, and that content delivery module will serve the data through the API layer, and that is what our main challenge that we wanted to explore. So instead of changing across everything at the current state or in the canvas, we just wanted to build the one customized content delivery module. That is our first step. And second step, we wanted to enable the API layer. This API layer for the pilot we enabled in AWS API gateway, and which was serving the content to the React application. Yeah. So this is what the number 3 was, our future state, where from the current state we are serving the content to a future state using the API layer. We wanted to build this API gateway as abstractions here, so that front end will get the content, but in future if this layer has been changed or modified, it doesn't matter to the front end actually. So that's the idea, to build these abstractions as a API layer. Here in future state, we created the React component, and Ravi is going to demo that. It's not just a React component. Uh, Most of our websites is a dynamic in nature, but the at least 40 to 50% part of is a static content as well there. So the using the Gatsby, we are actually generating the static HTML and giving the showing the applications to the different digital channels. Now the next part was, Ravi, can we click the next? So in the future state, since Drupal 7, we wanted to leverage the headless capabilities of Drupal, and we wanted to migrate from Drupal 7 to either Drupal 8 or Drupal 9. And considering our current Canvas platform, which is a huge platform, the migration process will not be simple. So this is what the idea we thought through. So Drupal, whatever in future state, whichever the new Drupal 8 or Drupal 9 instance is there, that will serve the content to the API layer, and API layer will serve that content back to the React component. And in time being, in parallel, while we are doing it, we will start our content as a service migration. So idea is, first of all, we will make sure the UI layer is decoupled from the canvas current state through the React component. And once the canvas is lightweight, we will just migrate the content from the canvas to new Drupal instance, or Drupal 8 or 9 instance. So considering 800 or 900 websites, if this migration, if we wanted to do it, this is what at least from our understanding, this will be a best approach that's what we evaluate in our study. So at the end, idea is the content as a service is main. Our idea was, so for example, like not just for this web applications, but the nature of the organizations, this content is required by many other mobile applications as well as other applications also. So we wanted to enable the content as a service class through the Drupal CMS. Then if we achieve this if we achieve this future state, then we are decoupling our UI layer and the content as a service for the content layer. That was our idea. And in future, if any other content as a service technology we wanted to enable through the API layer, it is possible. Means there is no need of change overall all the architecture. That's what the basic idea was. In this right now, we are serving a lot of external services as well. So for example, like we are using Buzzer Voice, we are using ratings and reviews. So those things also is enabled through the API layer, and that is why dynamic nature also we are preserving this from these applications. And next, Ravi. So our journey was mainly focused on the decoupled side. For example, the current monolithic applications of the Drupal applications, we wanted to decouple it first. That's what our main objective of doing this architecture. Instead of monolithic, a big canvas architecture, we wanted to decouple it. That is what basic idea. Then the complete end-to-end migration, like migrating the 800 or 900 websites is not possible. So partial migration was the concept was evolved, and for that decoupling is required. Spread out the migration cost, because this migration was not the simple process for us. So we wanted to spread out this migration cost using the decoupled approach. Major business objective was it is the speed to market, because right now, because of the monolithic in nature, still we achieved a lot of flexibility in our deployments, lot of DevOps processes in deployments. Still, if we wanted to enable the new feature in Canvas or a Drupal applications, it's a time consuming, relatively right now, it's a time consuming activity. So that also we wanted to make sure it is speed to market. Security and performance is a key for any of the applications in the organization. So that is also we wanted to achieve it. What has been done so far? For this platform, we built a brand design system for each brand, and the objective or the advantage what we got it from this architecture is now our design agencies are participating with us, because previously they are external parties or external entity previously. Once they design, they provide the design, they don't know what's happening actually. But now using this brand design, using this architecture, the design agencies is part of the solution, and they are participating actively. Enable the content delivery API in the existing platform. This has been completely done. At certain point of time, we wanted to make sure this module is we will contributed in our Drupal space. That's what we wanted to do it.
Sorry, I have some issue with the presentation. Okay.
Yeah, so this content delivery module, we wanted to make sure it is contributed in the Drupal space. We set up the CI/CD pipeline purely in the Jenkins, using the Jenkins technology stacks. AWS-based infrastructure, and this is whole serverless infrastructure is there. There is no single EC2 instance we enabled here. There is a requirement for enable translations, right to left aligned content for our MENA audience. Handle rich text content, test regression suite, the automation test regression suite we achieved with this platform. GDPR is a main functionality here. Search from the Drupal, we are enabled actually. Then the language feature is one of the big functions is also enabled. what still we are exploring is there are multiple third-party integrations. So, for example, like GDPR third-party integrations we completed. Channel advisor, like where to buy functionality, and buzzer voice we are integrating through the API layer. Google Analytics is already enabled. Only the data layer analytics we are trying to build it, and content preview workflow is in the last milestone. We already achieved that, but just making sure the all finishing touches is going to be there. Ravi, next slide.
Arshad, we may need to speed up a bit.
Sorry, yeah. I will not go into a detail. This is content as a service. I mentioned is like there are multiple channels we are achieving through the content as a service. Migration from Canvas to CAS, that is our objective. More personalization of websites, that's the demand for the today's digital trends. So personalizations we wanted to achieve through this platform. Control and customization of presentation. Because of the decoupling is nature, we wanted to enable, we wanted to make sure that the presentation is reusable or the UI component is reusable. What we have been done here we defined the data model for Canvas and new Drupal 8 or Drupal 9 so that the migration will be easy. Enabled CAS for article and product content type. That is, I believe we can read throughout this. Any major point you want to highlight in this slide?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so for this platform, we done our speed test for the pilot applications, and the result was fantastic. Results was so good, and because of the static HTMLs or static content, the speed is we are getting the speed in not just in particular any one region. It is getting everywhere. Actually, the speed is very good. After that, we done some vulnerability testing as well for the security purpose, and security scan also showing us a very good result. There are level 2 vulnerabilities is there, but it is not belongs to the platform. That is for a Google Analytics actually, and that is not, we are not able to control that, and that is why level 2 vulnerabilities are there. But all the other vulnerabilities there is 0 level vulnerability right now in the platform. Ravi, I think over to you for demo. I think this is the main one.
Yeah, thanks, Arshad. Thank you very much. I'm switching over to the demo. Let me switch my screen a bit. Okay. Before actually showing something, I want to give a context. So like Arshad mentioned, we have like around 800 websites, and each of them is individual Drupal websites. That's becoming quite huge. It is mainly because these are all different source codes, and when it comes to upgrade, that is actually a bit of a time consuming for us when we need to upgrade a security patch or a Drupal security releases. So that's why we are started to rethink about it and bring consistency to the websites in a way that we have only a kind of around 60 to 70 brands. Now our thinking here is to bring 1 code per brand. That means instead of 800 code bases, we may be minimizing it to 600 code bases. To achieve this, we want to have a clear view to the business, how they see what is existing as a design asset. So we are starting from a design as a starting point. So we truly want to approach component-driven development or a atomic design concept, where I'm going to quickly show it. So our aim is to have everyone may be already familiar with what is atomic design. We divide all the components into small elements to atoms, molecules, and organisms, and then we build them. So as a per process, our approach here is to normally our business will bring up with the designs. So here we ask them to create them in a Sketch or Figma, so that those designs are sketch files can be shared across the regions and different stakeholders, so that they will start with what is already existing and build a new layout or new component they need. So having that in mind, we started building. Yeah, I mean, in the pilot, we want to build a library using the atomic design. We created we used InVision DSM for this. We created various components, like you see various buttons and navigation. This is still DSM, which is still for the UX. It's not really the code, but it's only UI components, and each of them has its own source code. And anyone want to add something, they download our package and then add the component suite and then publish it. And this is for the UX part of it. And once the UX is done, this will be transferred to the actual developers. They code each of these components one-to-one in React. Instead of directly going and building the layouts, again, we use the component-driven development, where we code each and individual component. We are using Storybook for this. Storybook is a library where we can actually write individual components in its own environment. That means that I can create a component without impacting anything else. The benefit of this is whenever there is a change in one component, I can change only that component, and then I can see what is the behavior of this, and is it impacting yes or no, or this will be we are isolating the impact to one component. So we build all the components, and we also provided an option where the business users or developers can see what are the possibilities. For example, this is a card component. We call it as a taco. Someone can come here and see what are the options he has for the taco. For example, it is a large, it is a full width, vertical, horizontal, whatever different possibilities. And the same way, we also created all these are individual components, and then in the front end, we are using Gatsby. Using Storybook, we have these components. We document each of them, and then it is very clear for the developers to see what is already existing instead of reinventing something existing. And then we combine all of this in the front end using Gatsby, and then we consume the API and then generate the front end. One important topic here is, because we are using Drupal and we try to render the existing content. The existing content is actually using rich text editor, the CK editor that comes with Drupal, and that is a big challenge for us, using our components, how we match it. So we created our custom rich text editor components, which is using a library from NPM, and then it takes the as-is input from Drupal, and based on the tags, it actually parses all the HTML into JSON, and then it will match each component, and then it will replace each component with our React component. So this is a bigger, say, part of our component library, the heart of it, because it will render at the Drupal content as is, so that the business don't have to redo the content entering the existing Drupal sites. And why we use Storybook is, main reason is to have this visibility and documentation. And then Storybook also comes with a out-of-the-box UI testing tool with a couple of commands. We are able to integrate all these components with Apply tools. And the benefit of Apply tools is when we, during the build pipeline, whenever we release a new package of our component library, it will execute a Jenkins build, and that will capture screenshots of all our components with various devices and various resolutions, I mean, and those are all can be compared. What is it previously? It is a quick show of a taco, which is an iPhone X, and a taco, which is desktop. So this actually compares with a previous baseline that we set, and everything is okay. It will be green. If something is wrong, we already find out at the earliest, also at the component level, so that we believe it will improve our delivery efficiency while building the components. Using the strategy of one single source code, I'll quickly share to my Visual Studio Code. So because we are planning to use one single source code, And for different markets, how we achieve is we created a configuration files in a way that, for example, here I have Australia and the language is English, environment is development, and I have the configuration for the website. The same way I have Australia staging, it has a configuration, and I have a similar way, I have Arabic site with the language Arabic and dev environment, various configuration for this. And then an example here, these are the variables which are available to our components during the build time. We use Gatsby to generate a static site. So we only need these variables, most of the variables in the build time. All our components are aware of these variables, and based on this variable value, it will behave certain way. For example, here I have set enable edit tests or no. Based on that, the components will allow editing them in the screen or not. The same way we kind of hide or disable or enable some features. But all these variables are aware to our components. So based on these variables, it will be behave. And to achieve this functionality, we are using a library. 1 second, I want to show a file. So .env is a library that we're using, which actually loads our configuration files. And we set a current active environment in our build pipeline that will take the files and it will load the correct environment file based on the environment value. And then rest is like the regular Gatsby stuff. It will consume our APIs based on the configuration, and it will render our site. And once the site is rendered, the public folder of Gatsby is placed into each country folder. So we have one S3 bucket and having different folders for each country. So one S3 bucket will, whenever there is a build is done, the package is placed into the correct destination. All this done based on our own environment variable. So that's why we kind of achieving one source code with few configuration, different sites, and also with one S3 bucket. Also less maintenance at S3 bucket level. And I quickly want to demonstrate our website, how we build it. So this is one of our brand website, and this is for Australia. This is we are replicated the current live website as it is. And one additional thing is, because we are decoupled, also it is a static site. There is no server running behind. It's just static servicing content via Cloudflare. And it is difficult for the business to understand where they need to edit when they want to change this one. So to enable this, we kind of added this edit feature. This variable is corresponding to the variable I set. If that variable is false, then we don't see this edit icon. When someone clicks on this edit, he will land on the edit interface of Drupal, and the content editor can change the content and then save this. Once it is saved, we created a kind of a module which actually, when I click on start, it will trigger my Jenkins build, and then that will actually regenerate my Gatsby site. Once the site is, it is currently taking like 2 to 3 minutes to have my output. We are still evaluating a quicker way to do the preview of the site. We are looking at Gatsby Cloud as an option, but we still need to finalize. But for now, as soon as we introduce something as server-based, we will get into a server-based, and we need to maintain. That's why we are still looking for various options. Currently, this build takes 2 minutes, and then the changes will reflect on the front end as soon as the build is completed. So this is one of the site, and then I want to show as well the Arabic site that we have. We have to take the link. Yeah, this is a Arabic site where the content is flows from right to left. We achieve all of this with connecting to the same API from the existing Drupal websites, but with the same front end code. And in the current pilot, like Arshad mentioned, we're also having, we started migrating some of the content to new API, new Drupal 8 platform. So currently some of the pages here I can show you that we're able to consume an API from existing Drupal 7 sites. This is the API from Drupal 7 sites and a new CAS API. So it's kind of allowing us to gradually change the site to consume the new API. Okay, I think that's my quick demo.
Just to add what Ravi mentioned is, this is like a one code based brand, but the content is coming differently. So if I wanted to build the new website for particularly a new market, for example, if I want to build a Singapore website or a US website, I don't need to go through the complete the build cycle again. I just need to make sure the content is getting provided to the to the websites, and that's all. We don't need to go through again building the same websites with the same code actually. So idea is now if I wanted to enable a new websites, hardly it is taking like 2 to 3 days, not more than that. And that's the speed to market for any of the new website if you want to generate. I think, yeah, Erin, we can start with the question and answer session. I think we don't have a time now. So, Ravi, there is one question. Is it multilingual? Where at which layer? And did you introduce the translator? Can you take it?
Yeah, sure. So we have tried with one Arabic site. In the backend, it is one Drupal is multilingual. The API is exposing it. In the front end, we still treat it as two separate instances because we enabled API in a way that Arabic content is sent with Arabic API URL, and then English content is sent with English URL. So it is like AR/AR. So I will get Arabic content, AR/EN, I get English content. In the front end, for front end, it's two different sites basically. So we enable the existing multilingual site with two API endpoints. And for translations, each site has its own translation file, the similar way I shown the configurations.
Yeah, and right now we don't introduce any translator, but idea is to introduce that as well going forward in the subsequent phase as well. So definitely that's in the roadmap.
Are there any other questions?
Just to add what we so far explained, so the first brand to adopt this framework is a little time consuming activity. Maybe it takes through the DSM process and end-to-end API build process and the Drupal 7 or Drupal 8 process. It is a first website will take time, but after that, if we wanted to build any new websites on the similar brand, we are not taking, means it is like 1 or 2 days only the configuration activity if there is no major customization is there.
Yeah, there was a question about any plans to migrate to Drupal 10. So currently our focus is to enable API for existing Drupal 7 sites. At the same time, we migrate all the content into a couple of Drupal 9 websites. We call them as a CAS. As soon as we are ready with that, I think ultimately we need to go to Drupal 10. That's for sure, but not immediately. I hope there are no further questions.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks everyone for your attention. And please feel to contact us. We share the slides and we have the details there. If you have any questions following to this, let us know. We are happy to help you with our knowledge or experience we have with our pilot. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.